Hi, are you dependent on a good scholarship to pursue your MBA? Well, then in this video, I'm going to teach you how can you win more scholarship. If you get a scholarship with an admit, how can you negotiate for more scholarship? But before that, I'm going to teach you how does scholarships actually work. Hi, if you are new here, I'm Amir. I'm an admissions consultant with more than 8 years of experience in guiding candidates to Ivy League MBA programs. And I'm also the co-founder of Admit Portal, which is a self-service portal for candidates like you to work on your MBA applications. Now, let's first try to understand how scholarships work. If you can see my screen, then the first thing I want you guys to understand is that scholarship is not charity. Most of the business schools in US, Europe, schools like INSEAD, LBS, at Harvard, Columbia, Stanford, most of these schools are private business schools. At the end of the day, they need to deliver a profit as well. And the way scholarships work, or the way they look at scholarship, is the extra money they can use to attract better talent, usually better academically oriented talent, which can give them better employment report, better long term returns in terms of prized alumni, better branding, so that their school's ranking keep on improving, their school's brand keep on improving, so does the reputation. So, the first thing I want you guys to learn is that start looking at scholarship as a money being used by school to attract talent, meaning you guys. Okay? Scholarship is not charity money. A lot of time candidates think scholarship is charity money and it is being doled out for everyone. No. Scholarship money is very carefully used by schools to attract talent primarily in two different areas. First, academic brilliance or academic scholarship. This is where most Indians, most Asians, Chinese fall in. If you are an Indian candidate, Chinese candidate, or Southeast Asian candidate, the best way to win a scholarship for you is to win an academic scholarship, which is usually governed by your GMAT score and your GPA. And if you see on the slide, I have written that you need at least 40 points above the school average. That's because if you think of a school like Harvard who's able to attract candidates on average with a GMAT score of 730, 740, there is no reason for Harvard to give you a scholarship if you are coming from a overrepresented profile with average metrics like 730 GMAT and a 3.6 GPA. You need to bring something extra to the table. Okay? That's how academic scholarships work. If you target a lower ranked school, for example, Indiana Kelley, Foster, Tapper, where the average GMAT is 700 and you come in with a GMAT score of 730, 740, that's where you are significantly better than their candidate pool, which they are able to attract based on their branding and ranking. And that's why they would be more interested in attracting you towards them by giving you a good scholarship amount. Another simple way to understand this is think of when you switch a job, the next company typically attracts you by giving you a higher salary. It's the same principle working at the end of the day. Schools attract you by giving you scholarship money. Okay. Second kind of scholarship is diversity scholarship. Schools value diversity in their classroom. They want to put together the most diverse class profile together because the more diverse the class is, the better the learning experience and lesser the risk for school when it comes to employment season. Diversity scholarships are usually given out based on cultural diversity and cause related diversity. Cultural diversity may depend on your nationality, cause related diversity may depend on your work. If you have done really good work in any particular field, for example, entrepreneurs, social workers, etc. So these are the two big segments where schools deliver most scholarship. There are other segments. There are alumni based scholarships which are governed by one or two particular alum who sponsor one or two kid depending on their own criterias. But if you look at a school sponsored scholarship, the school's scholarship pool, it is essentially either academic scholarships or diversity based scholarships. Now let's move on to how can you win more scholarship. The easiest way to win more scholarship is to negotiate from a position of power. What I mean by that? First of all, bring something extra to the table. Like I mentioned before, if you want to win an academic scholarship, then you need to bring a significantly higher GMAT score and GPA to the table. If a school's average is closer to 700, if you walk in with a 730, 740, 750, obviously your chances of winning a scholarship goes significantly higher. If your GMAT is 700, then target schools which are significantly lower on the average GMAT metric. For example, schools like Rotterdam, Mannheim, any of these German schools or even private schools in UK where the average GMAT is 640, 650. Because for that kind of a school, a candidate with a 700 GMAT is significantly more attractive. Second way to win more scholarship, and this is the most powerful way, is to get multiple offers. Okay, remember at the end of the day, Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, they all are competing to get the best talent towards them. If you can land multiple offers, for example, if you can land offers from Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, you can leverage them against each other and negotiate for more scholarship. If you want even higher scholarship, then if you can land offers from a very well ranked school, for example, again Harvard, then a tier 2 or a medium ranked school like Darden, Duke, and then a lower ranked school like Tepper, Indiana Kelley, Foster, the lower ranked schools would be willing to give you even higher and higher scholarship to attract you away from Harvard or Darden and Duke, and vice versa, right? If you have an offer from Harvard, you can go to Darden and ask for more scholarship from them. So that's what we call negotiating based on multiple offers. So these are the two most common ways which I advise my clients on when it comes to winning scholarships. If they get something from the school along with the admit offer, great. After that, this kind of negotiation starts. And obviously, these two are not the only way. There are other scholarships. If you are a female candidate, there's Forte scholarship. I really encourage all my female candidates to sign up for the Forte scholarship so that you are eligible for it. That's the biggest scholarship which is usually given out to female candidates. Then there are other country specific scholarships. Please check in with your country requirements. But if you keep everything aside, if you are solely focused on the school, then the two easiest way to win scholarship is to first bring something extra to the table in terms of your GMAT and GPA. Second, negotiate if you have multiple offers. I hope this helps. I hope this makes sense. Thank you. Good luck for your journey.